Diamonds are forever. Throw the diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. Welcome, welcome to the franchise. I'm your host on the oldie train once again. Danzo. It's Daniel Ehrenberg.
Hey, and this is Henry the Hanker over here in South Jersey. Welcome to the franchise, everybody, for episode 96.
The Hanky Pankster.
YOLO and Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, YOLO. I like YOLO. The Strokes have a song called "You Only Live Once."
Yeah.
And it was written well before the age of YOLO. And I saw them live a couple summers back, and right before they played that song, Julian Casablancas just said YOLO, and they started playing, and it made me happy.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. But no, we're Yolt. This is a real Yolt situation.
Yeah, this is Yolt.
Yeah. You Only Live Twice, a problematic James Bond film, and Diamonds Are Forever, starring
a problematic Bond film.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Please.
True. What?
No.
Diamonds Are Forever?
Well, I mean, you're starting off already with, You Only Live Twice, saying it's problematic.
Well, but that one has Sean Connery in yellow face.
Oh, not wasting any time.
No, it's fucking weird. But I'm going to say something right here off the bat.
You say it.
You Only Live Twice?
Mm.
I enjoyed a lot more than most of these Bond movies we've watched.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a nostalgia buster for me because You Only Live Twice was always in my top 5.
I think it earns a spot there.
Yeah. So, but the problems, which we'll get to, sort of took it down a little bit for me. But I still loved it. But it is problematic.
It's problematic to a T, my friend.
Yes,
it doesn't get much more problematic than this. People shit on the word problematic sometimes, and a lot of times they're right too. But I mean, when people say things are problematic, usually what they should be talking about is, hey, remember the James Bond movie where Sean Connery put applications on his eyes to appear like a Japanese man?
Right.
That's problematic.
Solid point. I do find it very intriguing, and I'm sure we'll find out soon that you enjoyed this. What did you say? The most of any Bond movie so far?
No, I'm hesitant to say most, but it's up there, man.
Yeah,
and
an improvement on your watching of Thunderball.
Oh, such a huge improvement, night and day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start there. Yolt. You Only Live Twice. We've got a new director, a new writer. Hopefully someone saw Thunderball and was like, that's not what we want. Let's do something good this time.
Right.
So our new director is a fellow named Louis Gilbert.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Now, Louis Gilbert would go on to direct a couple other Bonds in the Roger Moore era.
Yeah, which we'll get to whenever we get to, I guess.
But at this point, Louis Gilbert was a hot commodity, Henry.
He sure was.
He had been nominated for an Oscar for Best Director, the year You Only Live Twice got made.
For Alfie.
Yeah,
right.
The Michael Caine classic Alfie, remade into an unwatchable Jude Law film years later.
I've never seen Alfie, either of them.
Oh, I've never actually seen the original, but the Jude Law one I saw. This was the height of Jude Law mania, I want to say.
Yes, yeah,
remember at the Oscars when Chris Rock was like, "Why is Jude Law and everything? Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah.
And
I remember thinking that was pretty fucking brutal, but it was very funny.
It was very funny. But do you remember Sean Penn later that night?
Yes.
One of my favorite Oscar moments ever. Honestly,
my
this
God.
might have been my favorite Oscar moment until the Moonlight La La Land mix-up.
Yeah, run it by people because it's rather obscure for people who don't watch the Oscars all the time.
So Chris Rock talked some shit about Jude Law in good fun. It was
Good fun. He
It's not
basically
like
says like he's not a movie star. He's like Jack Nicholson's a movie star. Tom Cruise is a movie star.
Right.
Just, yeah.
and Jude Law had just come out. He was just gently ribbing this new
Yeah.
actor. And Sean Penn comes out later that night to present an award, and he goes, he comes up like he's got something to say. He looks mad, and he goes, I just want to respond to something earlier. I just want to say Jude Law is one of the finest actors we have. And now here are the nominees for Best Live Action Short Film or whatever. And it was
Thank you, Sean.
the most self-serious thing I've ever seen. I mean,
Awful.
Sean Penn is such a fucking joke. And I don't know if you've read any excerpts of his new novel, Henry.
No, I got a text from our friend
Yeah.
about it. That's all I know.
He's a bigger joke than ever, this guy.
Really?
And I
love
look,
Sean Penn.
I love Sean Penn as an actor most of the time. I mean, except when he's going full retard and I Am Sam. But I think of all the actors in Hollywood, Henry, unless we're talking about the Jeremy Pivens and Kevin Spaceys of the world, I think just talking to them, I would hate Sean Penn the most.
Really?
Yeah.
You just think he's like just so full of himself.
Just an insufferable piece of shit. I think an argument could be made for me for Alec Baldwin or Tim Robbins.
Oh,
but
picking all the lefties, huh?
Well, I mean, look, yeah, James Woods is a piece of shit, but who cares? I'm talking like these are major actors that are meant to be on like quote unquote the good side, and they are hurting their cause by being insufferable pieces of shit.
Okay.
So Alec Baldwin, Tim Robbins, but I think Sean Penn's got him beat.
Yeah.
Jude Law, he's one of our finest actors.
I remember right after that, Saturday Night Live did a spoof on it where Seth Meyers played Sean Penn coming out to present the award, and he said something like, I'm Sean Penn, and I am devoid of the capacity for human joy.
That is great, man. Come on, he's fucking Spicoli, and he's coming out with that shit. Get out of here.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right. I'm glad we talked about that forever. There are certain things that stick with me that I can never let go, and that is one moment.
I had forgotten about that.
I know.
A beautiful moment.
Adrian Brody introducing Toots and the Maytals on Saturday Night Live. That's another thing I'll never forget.
Oh yeah, what did he do real quick?
He did a Jamaican character.
Oh,
Respect your neck. Respect.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. Oh,
Yo, Adrian. Yeah, it's me, Adrian Brody. I'm gonna fight some fucking predators, motherfucker. All right. You only live twice. That's Lewis Gilbert. So, it was written. How about this writing credit, Henry?
Oh my God! Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Roald Dahl.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, children's novelist. Or YA novelist, Roald Dahl.
That's what they called it in the 50s.
Yeah. He's writing this movie. He's apparently buds with someone involved. The Broccolis, maybe?
Oh, is he? Probably.
Or maybe Terrence Young? I don't know. He got this job through some weird connection, and here he is. I myself, Henry, am a big fan of Roald Dahl.
Yeah, I've never read anything.
That's crazy.
I just didn't. I don't know. Yeah.
Roald Dahl is in many ways responsible for me being a reader. I read all of his novels as a kid, every single one of them, man.
I mean, maybe I read The Little Prince. He did that, right?
No, what?
Didn't he do The Little Prince?
I don't believe so.
I thought he did.
He's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Yeah.
Matilda.
Right.
He's The Witches. He's James and the Giant Peach. He's he wrote a novel, Henry, which I think should be the title of this show, Danny, the Champion of the World. And
oh
he,
yeah, what am I thinking of? The Little Prince was written by a French guy.
yeah, some fucking French guy.
Fuck am I talking
No,
about?
Roald Dahl is a German. Isn't he like maybe a neo-Nazi? Am I slandering Roald Dahl right now?
No, he was like a British fighter pilot,
What?
dude. Yeah.
I'm slandering Roald Dahl?
Yeah. I
All right.
don't know where you got
Well,
it as a
you're right.
Nazi.
You're right. I'm looking that up now. I'm thinking of
Jesus
somebody
Christ.
else.
He fought the Nazis, man. He was in the Royal Air Force.
And we thank him every day. Roald Dahl.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Roald Dahl. He
Ugh.
passed away in 1990. He was a wonderful man, all right?
Yeah.
He also
cool
wrote
guy.
The BFG, made into a great Steven Spielberg film.
Oh,
he
top
wrote-
5 Spielbergs.
He wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Top 5 Wes Anderson.
Easily one of the 2 best Wes Anderson stop-motion animation films. You know, there's a
You'll be seeing Isle of Dogs, won't you?
100%. Yeah.
Ugh.
He wrote, there's a sequel, a novel sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. How come nobody's made that in this franchise-obsessed world?
I don't know. Maybe they will.
I hope they do. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. You can't do it now as a sequel to that Tim Burton joint because, like, the kid who played Charlie is, like, really old now. Isn't he, like, the fucking guy who was Norman Bates on that TV show?
I wouldn't know. I steered way fucking clear of
Not
that joke.
bad.
Yep.
Not bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a Deep Roy fan?
Not happening.
Deep Roy.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, that reference.
He's an Indian dwarf that Tim Burton like replicated 1,000 times so he could play every single Oompa Loompa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Deep Roy. All right. You Only Live Twice was released on June 13th, 1967. Major summer release.
Yeah.
A massive for its day budget of $10.3 million.
Pretty big.
Pretty big, but a box office of $111.6 million.
These things are still raking in the cash, man. 5 in. You gotta look at that.
Yep.
That's impressive.
I have here, and listen, you've got to expect a few people to tune out after they went to see Thunderball.
No. That was a hit. Yeah, right. I know.
It was
No,
so
no.
boring. All right. It's number 7 at the box office for 1967.
Okay.
Do you have any guesses there?
Well, let's see, shall we?
1967, of course, a watershed year in terms of
Certainly looks like it,
American
yeah.
cinema.
I
Now,
have a couple guesses.
you'll find so much foreign cinema on my lists in the 50s and 60s, but 1967 was the first year that the American directors that were influenced by foreign cinema started putting out films. So guys like Arthur Penn and Mike Nichols, and so it's a very weird year in terms of the Oscars, Henry. The Best Picture nominees, there were some big old Hollywood style movies. Dr. Dolittle was nominated. Then
Sure.
there's a movie that is sort of Hollywood trying to do social commentary and but making it a Hollywoodized version of that with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Then
Yeah.
a more sort of interesting version of that with In the Heat of the Night, and then 2 stone cold classics in Bonnie and Clyde and The Graduate. It's a big year for film. I recommend anybody out there want to learn more about that, read Mark Harris's great book about 1967 cinema, Pictures at the Revolution.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was an excellent monologue. If unexpected.
Yeah, it's a big year for me. When I was a more snobby person, I used to think of
when was that?
I've been more snobby, Henry.
Okay.
I used to think of 1967 like I wouldn't watch American cinema before 1967 because I was like it's not good.
Wow.
And
That's
so
pretty snobby.
I would only watch Orson Welles or like Hitchcock, which isn't even really American. So like then I realized Hollywood made good movies before 1967. But so this is really where like I've seen a lot of movies 1967 on.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is sort of where it picks up for me, too. If not quite until like 1970, but it definitely doing my list, I had no problem finding stuff. So I
Okay.
obviously had seen a lot too. But the top 10 movies of 1967, gross wise.
Gross wise, yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of guesses.
Okay.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Not there.
The Graduate.
That's number one. People forget how massive a crossover hit The Graduate was.
I really didn't think that would even be on there. That was just a stab in the dark.
Nope, number one.
Okay. I'm thinking Cool Hand Luke.
No.
Heat of the Night.
No.
Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Yeah, that's number three. In the Heat of the Night, we can cover. Remember, there's that weird sequel.
What's the sequel?
They Call Me Mr. Tibbs.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more guess. Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, that's number four.
All right, I got okay. Yeah.
People loved that Warren Beatty back then, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Number 10, big epic Hollywood epic Camelot. Number 9, we're still loving musicals, so you got Thoroughly Modern Millie. Number 8, who could have remembered that the this Poitier movie that made more money that year was To Sir with Love? You Only Live Twice comes in at number 7. Number 6, another movie we can cover eventually, Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, sure.
Number 5 is The Dirty Dozen, an overlong classic.
Yeah.
Number 4, Bonnie and Clyde. Number 3, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Guess who's coming to dinner, Henry? Guess.
I can't.
Black guy.
Oh. All right.
Another Poitier. What a year for Poitier, huh?
Yeah, he's killing it that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just watched Putney Swope last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know that movie?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
That's a Robert Downey Sr. movie. And there's a scene in that movie which came out in 1969, just after this. It's a sex scene where it's two black people fucking, and behind the bed is a gigantic poster of Sidney Poitier. And during the sex, the guy reaches out to grab the bed frame, and he tears down the Poitier poster. It's really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is The Jungle Book,
Oh, yeah.
and number 1 is The Graduate.
Okay.
All right, what's your number? 1960 number. What's your the year of our Lord 1967 list?
Anno Domini 1967.
Yeah.
Number 10. Number 10 for me, In Cold Blood.
Oh, a great film. My number 10 is I Am Curious, Yellow.
Never heard of it.
Really? Swedish film.
Oh, yeah.
There's I Am Curious Blue, too. Hey, we could cover that.
Okay. Number 9, a film called Marat Sade.
My number 9 is Wait Until Dark. I should say that when I was making my list, the 2 movies I was not happy about leaving off that I ultimately did were Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Two for the Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll make a quick side note about Marat Sade. That was written by Peter Weiss, or Weiss, a great playwright who also wrote a play that I lent Dan and never returned to me called The Investigation.
I have never read it. I forgot you lent it to me. And,
yeah, that's all right. It's been like 7 or 8
okay.
years.
And I've never seen Marat Sade.
I actually bought it again, so don't worry about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. You should have said something to me.
I forgot about it, and for some reason, I was looking at something on the internet, and I was like, "Oh yeah, The Investigation. I have that." And then I was like, "No, I don't. Not anymore." So
Okay.
I got it for like $1, so it was nothing. Yeah. Marat Sod, great movie. A play within a play. Okay. What's your number 9 again? Sorry.
Wait Until Dark.
Okay. Number 8 for me is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Even though I'm not a huge fan of it when I think about it.
Oh,
when
it's
I
a
wrote
good
it,
one.
So.
It's a good. The most underappreciated part of that is fucking Spencer Tracy. I think he's so good in that movie.
Katharine Hepburn's a little hard to take.
I can get down with that. That might be why it's not in the top 10 here.
Yeah. All right. Sure.
My number 8 is The Fearless Vampire Killers.
Heard of it, never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
My number 7 is Cool Hand Luke.
My number 7 is Weekend.
Don't know it. Another foreigner, right?
Godard. I have 2 Godard movies on this list, so it's definitely your favorite list I've ever made.
I'm already loving it. Well, my number 6 is a great French film called Belle de Jour.
Ooh. Ha ha ha.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Oh, did you just ask me for 6? Okay. Number 6 is In the Heat of the Night.
Okay. Number 5, and this would move down. I wrote this list right before I watched, but You Only Live Twice.
Henry, it's a good movie.
I know it is.
All right.
I love it, but it wouldn't be number 5.
All right, my number 5 is In Cold Blood.
Oh, all right. My number 4 is Bonnie and Clyde.
My number 4 is 2 or 3 Things I Know About Her.
Who did what foreigner did that?
That's another Godard.
Okay. My number 3 is In the Heat of the Night.
My number 3 is The Good, The Bad, as well as The Ugly.
That is my number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is Bonnie and Clyde.
And my number 1 movie of 1967 is The Graduate.
Yeah, The Graduate. Shandy, I know it's problematic, but
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Former guest Shandy Lamperley, not a fan. All right. You Only Live Twice. We open in space, and I'm worried.
I got worried too.
Because it's like, we just got done with Thunderball, where like one of my biggest problems is it's so like ambitious that to the point where it's off the rails.
Right.
And so I'm not into starting a Bond movie in space, but luckily it's just a pre-credit sequence setting up the big Blofeld plan of this particular episode.
Yep.
And then we go down to Earth. Bond is over there in China. Yeah. And he's fucking a China woman.
No, he does not.
What are you talking about?
He does not have sex with her.
He goes down on her.
No. Here's what I know this because of the Shag count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does. I thought he did too. I thought it was post-coital, type of stuff going on there. But when he sees Moneypenny, she asks how the girl was that they set him up with, and he said, "I would have known if you'd given me another 5 minutes."
Well,
which leads me to believe, and she had also left the room to say she'll be right back to make all his dreams come true or some shit. So I do not think they had fornicated at that point.
I think Bond got to third base with her.
All right, but that doesn't count as a shag.
Because he says, "Why is it Chinese girls taste different from all other girls?"
You're so filthy. See, I thought he just meant kissing her, but you think
no one tastes appreciably different in kiss terms.
Uh-huh. You're gonna go down this road yourself, my friend.
Yeah, I just pictured myself like in a car with my mom listening to this episode.
Dan only lives by himself on this rant.
It's not a rant. I think it's
He could have meant her mouth.
I think he tasted that puss.
All right, well, it still doesn't count as a shag.
All right, fine. Listen, gang. Then he fakes his own death, and we go into the opening credits of this one, which is a new. Who did this one?
Nancy Sinatra.
Nancy Sinatra, the more talented Sinatra, in my humble opinion.
Agreed on my front, too, and this is where I can reveal what I hinted at last week. This is my favorite Bond song of all time.
It's a great one. It was, of course, sampled for the classic Robbie Williams song, Millennium.
I remember that.
Which I love, and so when I watched this movie, I had that song stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
It's a great, great song. I've always loved it. I think it's my favorite one, and it's another great pre-title sequence. We're really off and running now. Ever since Goldfinger, they're just good. They're better and better, right?
Yeah, and we're trying to make it Asian themed, which could go in a weird direction.
Yeah, but it really doesn't get that crazy.
No, but they do incorporate like Asian instruments into the score of this movie and stuff.
Yes,
And
right.
and Henry, I think it's my favorite Bond score yet.
John Barry, same guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he's going for it. It's like in Survivor, Henry. They changed the theme song to match the location.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Barry, he knows what he's doing. He's good. Yeah.
Which can get problematic when you watch Survivor Africa.
Like Sean Penn and the plot of this movie, it's problematic.
Yeah. So what happens next? He's presumed dead, and
they kill him so that his enemies won't mess with him anymore.
We see a newspaper headline that says British naval commander murdered.
Right.
Which I found interesting, a little glimpse into Bond's past.
Yes. I guess you're right. Is this the first time that I just know this. It muddles up with all the Bond I've seen. Is this the first mention of him being a naval commander?
As far as I noticed, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was in the Navy and all that.
Navy.
Okay.
That's a Village People song.
Oh.
You don't know that song?
I don't know. I don't have their first three records.
I had a music professor, Henry, in college that he was super into classical music. I took like many classical music classes from him, but if you Googled him, he had credits singing background on
my God.
In the Navy by the Village People and a few Pet Shop Boys songs.
He didn't mention that in his class on Mahler.
He mentioned Pet Shop Boys.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was proud of that one.
He was very proud of that one, yeah.
He didn't want to be...
Yeah, but he did not bring it up in his Schubert and Brahms course that I took.
I didn't know you took a Schubert and Brahms course.
That's right, son. That's when I got briefly obsessed with the fuck lives of 19th century classical composers.
Well, those are two good ones.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff.
They both like them brothels.
Yeah, and each other's ladies.
Schubert and Brahms?
I think so.
No.
I'm misremembering, but I'll look it up.
You are conflating Schumann and Brahms.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay.
All right.
He was the Schumann.
Schubert was dead before Brahms was born.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Where we go now? We're heading into... He goes to Japan. And he's got to investigate. There's some great spy shit. You know...
Yeah.
Something I realized watching You Only Live Twice, my favorite Bond is when he's creeping around places.
Yeah, like doing some of his own little investigative work at night.
Espionage. That's what I'm into. Because there's that...
Well, we've said we're not, but you mean like espionage you can understand and see.
Yes. I mean, like, anytime he's like sneaking around, like pretending to be other people.
Right.
Creeping past motherfuckers.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what I like, because there's that part in this movie where Q shows up, and Q's like, here's a crazy flying machine.
Right.
And he goes and has like an air fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like bored. I'm like, get back to the creeping.
Right.
That's what I want.
Get back to the creeping.
Get back to the creeping. So he, he meets a sort of mysterious lady named Aki.
Aki.
Who's a very charming Bond girl. She's I thought a good actress. I think that this has maybe the best women of any Bond altogether.
So far, really?
Yeah. Because, like, I love Ursula Andress and shit, but, like, this movie has, like, 3 good female characters, which is more than I can say.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's not a weak one. That's true. Because even in Thunderball, I mean, I loved the femme fatale, but then you got sort of a, Domino's kind of take or leave. And,
Right. And there's that weird sister character.
And Goldfinger, you
got Pussy Galore.
Yeah, Goldfinger, you got Jill Masterson, who's great, but then you got Pussy Galore, and yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
So he's sneaking around, and he goes into this guy Henderson's place, and they have like a cool sword fight, and then Henderson gets stabbed in the back with a knife.
Yeah.
And that's kind of baller. And Bond, he gets into this fight with an Asian guy wearing like a face mask to protect from germs, which I like because you see that on the subway all the time. And then he takes the face mask and puts it on, like hides in the back of this dude's car, like pretending to be a different guy. This is the Bond I'm into.
It was cool. I totally agree. Couple of interesting faux pas in the scene with Henderson. I am inadvertently keeping track of this Dom Perignon business. Now he's drinking the 59. He's gone from the 53 to the 55 to the 59.
They've aged sufficiently, Henry.
Yeah, they are keeping up. So that's actually not a faux pas. I'll tell you what's a big one. Henderson gives him a martini, and he hands it to him, and he goes, "Stirred, not shaken, correct?" And Bond goes, "Yes."
No, Henry, that was a joke.
No, it wasn't.
But I thought Bond accepting that martini was like, clearly you don't know me very well. But he's an alcoholic. He'll drink it anyway.
Well, of course he's going to drink it anyway, but that's an interesting point. You thought that was like on purpose?
I chuckled at it.
Because you thought it was like a little...
I thought it was intentional.
Like,
a little nod.
I
thought maybe like that line is famous enough now.
It's for the audience to be like, oh, all right. Okay, I rescind that then. I'll agree with that. I think maybe you're right. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I thought they just fucked it up and didn't care.
All right, we're giving them the BOD on that one.
Yeah.
And so then he makes friends with this Japanese fella named Tiger Tanaka, and they're getting along like a couple, like a house on fire.
Old chums.
Yeah, so they drink together, then they bathe together.
How'd you like that sequence?
That's great. They choose women from a lineup to fuck together.
Very, 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 very progressively feminist movie.
Oh my God!
Japanese women come second. Men come first.
Bond is happy as a pig in shit in this fucking culture.
He is very happy.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'll retire here. Yeah.
Oh my God,
I
Henry.
think he says that. I didn't write it down. I think he says that.
Yeah, because he's into this Aki. So he chooses a lady to bone, and then Aki takes her place, and he seems fine with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Mm-hmm. All right, what happens next, Hank?
All right, so we went through him breaking into Asato Chemicals. We figure out that essentially Asato Chemicals is a front for Spectre.
That's right. We're dealing with Spectre again in this movie, which made me happy. It's almost like we could do a redo, because it seemed to me that Thunderball was all the Spectre plot threads coming to a head, and they screwed the fucking pooch on it so badly. that now we're getting another shot at it. So it's like, all right, in Thunderball, we were mainly dealing with number 2.
That's right.
So why not in this one finally touch on Blofeld, the telepathic cat?
Right, and see if the telepathic cat has a human attached to it as a
A
prop,
host.
which it does.
It does, and it's
A very pleasant.
franchise crossover. Donald Pleasance.
We
And
need the line.
what is it? Oh, I know what you're gonna say. All right, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Hey, Bond, get your ass away from there.
Which, he sort of says in other connotations.
Yeah, he does want Bond to get his ass away from this volcano base.
Oh, man. And that is one thing that stuck with me and I did love about this movie, that this movie really is the first one in the series. It's the 5th movie in the series. It's just fucking balls out going for broke, man. We've got the volcano fortress. I mean, it's just fucking awesome.
Well, I kind of think Dr. No was that, and now it's like a return to silliness.
That's right, but now we have the budget. It's a return to silliness, definitely, but not quite into the realm of complete and total camp, which we will get to in the next movie.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Still have one foot in a spy movie with some, consequences. By the way, he is seduced by an amazing Bond, another femme fatale girl, redhead,
Helga.
Oh boy,
I was very into her. I am confused why she seems to be like making out with Bond for no reason, because that really never turns into anything.
No,
it's just like Bond gets women fucking wet. That's all there is to it.
I think that scene, and that's a good point. I think that scene is literally her just wanting to get laid. So she just does it for herself, really, because then she'd never. You think for like half a second he'll turn her, because he's done it before, but no.
Yeah, he hasn't done it since Pussy Galore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I thought that's where it was going to, and I'm glad it didn't. But it's a really confusing scene. I'm not going to sit here and paint it as like sexually progressive. it's very weird.
No, but I'm just saying it's pretty obvious. She just wants to
bone down.
Your parlance, to bone.
And then she gets fed to piranhas by Blofeld.
Speaking of bones, one of the best deaths ever in this series. Pretty fucking good.
I know. And speaking of bones, what a great crime procedural that ran for 12 seasons and I watched every episode of.
Oh, God. I really love that scene, though, when she dies. It's really great because it's like one of those great typical Bond. We saw that in From Russia with Love, right, where you think Blofeld's going to kill one person and he kills the other one and gets to utter the line, again, this organization does not tolerate failure. Fantastic. And then just fucking gruesome, to be honest.
Great.
Right?
Great.
Jesus. Yeah.
So it's around this point, Henry, that Bond is transformed into a Japanese man. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tiger Tanaka, who's fucking great, by the way.
I agree. That actor's very cool.
He might be like my favorite Bond sidekick since like Quarrel in the first one.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he says, here's the plan. We're going to, in the next 3 days, we're going to train you to be a ninja, and we're also going to transform you into a Japanese man. So it cuts to Bond in this big facility. It looks like fucking Face Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And so you think they're going to do some crazy shit on him, but really all they do is give him a wig
Another wig.
Another wig, and they put some applications on his eyes to slant them up a bit.
Ugh. Yeah.
And it's fucking weird.
I knew that was coming. Well, I knew that he was. I hadn't seen the movie in a long time, but I knew that he tries to pass as a Japanese person, but I did not remember. Besides the hair was what I remembered. I did not remember the eye thing. So when they did that, that was a nice surprise.
And Connery's working on it a little bit. Connery like squints a little bit for the rest of the movie.
He does not.
He does.
Oh.
So he then goes off and bones Aki as an Asian man.
Yeah.
And she's still into it because they also shave him, don't they? Because, like, that's a thing. Like, Asian women love Sean Connery's hairy chest in this movie.
Yeah, but I don't remember if they should. You never see him with his shirt off.
No, but I think you're supposed to assume they did.
Yeah, because there's
But of course, Sean Connery's not shaving that chest, baby.
No way, man.
Yeah. That's his bread and butter.
Mojo.
He's like, listen, I've already agreed to be in Zardoz. I cannot shave my chest.
I am the man who would be king.
That's much later.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, great movie. That's probably on my top
I
10
love that
list for whatever year that
I
is.
love that movie. Yeah, 75, I think.
So Bond bones Aki, and Aki gets poisoned to death.
Yes.
And Bond seems pretty unfazed by it. He doesn't mourn
as the usual.
as per usual. Bond is sort of like the opposite of Charles Bronson in Death Wish. He lets shit go right away.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, Bronson doesn't spend too much time mourning either, but he does carry out that revenge stuff a lot.
that's right, Kersey. So what happens next? Oh, so he has to get married, right?
Right.
That's one thing. Like,
which had.
it doesn't really make any sense. But so Tiger Tanaka says he's got to marry this lady who knows the region, and her name is Kissy Suzuki.
Yeah.
Which is a great name. And Bond is like, well, is she hot at least? and Tiger Tanaka says she's got the face of a fucking pig. And
Love it.
And Bond's like, I gotta marry this fucking pig woman.
No, he has a better answer than that, my friend. I wrote the line down because it always made me laugh because it's just in Connery's timing and everything. It's just very funny. It's like under his breath almost because he says something like, "Is she beautiful?" And he goes, "Oh, she has a face like a pig." And Connery just like mutters like, "To hell with that idea."
Right, and he's at the altar as he's saying that.
That's great.
And then you meet Kissy Suzuki, and she's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, after a few head fakes, you meet Kissy Suzuki. She's beautiful.
And
who turns out to be the third woman that Bond will consummate with.
Yeah.
In this movie.
But, Henry, well, third woman, P to the G. I would say fourth woman in terms of mouth to the G.
James Bond, shag count.
3.
Okay, 3.
Let's hear it again. Hold on.
James Bond, shag count.
3.
Well, good. You got the hang of it now.
Yeah, I like it. Great new segment. Hey, Henry, let's do the segment, Has Henry Seen Fitzcarraldo Yet?
Oh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Here it is.
Has Henry seen Fitzcarraldo? 9.
Oh, still a 9. Okay.
Yeah. No, still haven't seen it.
Okay, so Kissy Suzuki, she's got like what, a slightly widespread nose? Is that why we're calling her a pig in this movie?
Oh, I didn't really think about that.
I did.
Really?
Yes.
No, come on. Tanaka was just fucking around with
I don't think so.
You think Tanaka thinks that she is as ugly as a pig?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. You're nuts.
Okay, so Bond and Kissy Suzuki, they have to like break into. Well, first they like meet each other, and Bond's not into her at first because she will not fuck him, and she feeds him oysters, which he thinks are disgusting.
Right.
But oysters are delicious. And Bond comes to terms with them by Diamonds Are Forever because he eats oysters in that movie. I noticed that.
Well, he learned from the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he and Kissy have to sneak into this volcano that is like hollowed out and has like a helideck. And
Oh, yeah. After a long and protracted helicopter chase.
yeah, which is boring.
Yeah, but it brings us, it at least gets us another, Q scene, which are just always great. Love
Value those Q scenes. You know what? I love them
Van
breaking
Damme,
in.
Van Damme.
Sure. I love them
Yeah.
breaking into the volcano because when he like discovers that top thing is metal and he like steps down. There's some really good tension in this one.
Yeah.
Like I got nervous for Bond a couple times, which is difficult to do because he's basically a superhero.
Right.
He sneaks in there. He sends Kissy back to like let them know. Kissy's wearing just a bra and panties for like the entire third act of this movie.
Right. Walking around a volcanic rock.
Yeah,
Yeah. No shoes.
because she's like an
Right.
island woman. Like
Right.
they have a tendency to do this in Bond movies, where like if someone's like not from like an urban area, then they're just like they don't know how the world works, and they're just like
Right.
they're like fucking Tarzan or something.
Yeah, like Honey, what's her face, Ursula Andress.
Yes, absolutely.
Honey Rider.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I collect shells.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She only owns a bikini.
Yeah.
I get it.
So he gets in there. He meets Blofeld. Blofeld is Donald Pleasance with a scar over his eye, and
Fucking great.
he looks awesome. And Donald,
Best Blofeld ever.
why are there other Blofelds?
I don't know. I guess he wouldn't come back, or they couldn't get
that's-
him, or they didn't want
but-
him. I don't know.
Donald Pleasance, Henry,
I know.
played Sam Loomis in
Yeah.
like so many shitty Halloween sequels.
I know.
And he
Very
would have
good
kept
point.
doing it, except he fucking died.
Yeah. I don't get it.
So
I don't
why
know.
couldn't you get him for another Bond movie? Like okay. So for the podcast, On Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby comes after You Only Live Twice, and then Connery came back for Diamonds Are Forever.
Right.
For the purposes of the podcast, we're skipping On Her Majesty's Secret Service for now and doing a bonus episode about it later this week. So
Yeah.
as of now, I haven't watched that one yet.
Nor have I.
But I know that one has a different Blofeld, and then there's a third Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever.
Right. Henderson from this movie.
Yeah, using an actor who played a different fucking role in You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
And, like, Donald Pleasance is so perfect. He's a character we've teased now for 5 fucking movies. And then we finally do a reveal of him, and the reveal totally works like fucking
Yeah.
gangbusters.
Yeah.
And now we're just not going to deal with him? We're going to use a
I
different
agree.
actor going forward?
I agree.
It's
I agree.
ridiculous. But, I mean, Donald Pleasance, for me, is the MVP of this movie.
Mine too. Mine too. Yep, with no hesitation. Yep.
I needed a drink. I got myself worked up.
Oh, that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. Maybe Pleasance was doing a lot of other stuff in the 60s. Who knows? Maybe he had no interest. I don't know. I don't know what his deal
Donald
is.
Pleasance, I feel like you could get him to do anything.
I don't know, man. It would have been great. I mean, that would have been a real great thing because Blofeld comes back a few more times in the ensuing years.
And he's not as interesting.
No,
And they couldn't even give him, like, listen, Donald Pleasance plays this role bald and with a big scar on his face.
Yeah.
Couldn't they at least just make the ensuing Blofelds bald with scars on their faces?
Good point.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
good
Diamonds Are Forever, Blofeld's like a foot taller with a full head of hair, and like he's a handsome guy. What is going on?
Yeah. No, it's true.
Could you imagine if they did that today?
Oh wow, yeah, that's funny.
Where like they've been
That's a great
teasing
point.
Thanos.
Everyone would
They've
go
been teasing
nuts.
fucking Thanos in the Marvel movies for like 8 years, and now like Infinity War would come out, and he would just be like, fucking whatever, Miles Teller or something.
Ty Sheridan is
Yeah.
Thanos. Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone would be a little bit pissed. Yeah.
I should think so.
Yeah. No, you're right. Very good point. Yeah.
So he beats Blofeld. It's a great little action sequence at the end, and I mean, it's a huge fight between like the forces of good and the forces of Spectre, which is actually fun and exciting because it's on land.
People are moving at actual
At full
speeds.
speed. Yeah.
Bond has his great moment where he, if he's a condemned man, can he at least have a cigarette? And
it's a cigarette gun.
Of course, Blofeld says yes.
That happens a lot in the Bond movies, where
that's their thing.
Yeah, everyone's just allowed to smoke, but like we're reverse engineering cigarettes to be weapons.
Great time.
Yeah.
Good time. Yeah,
So Blofeld gets away, and but the volcano fucking erupts, which is hilarious because then we just like cut outside to what is clearly stock footage of a volcano erupting.
Yeah, awesome.
And Bond gets away with Kissy Suzuki, and they fuck in a life raft because that's Bond's favorite thing to do.
If I've learned one thing from rewatching these movies, is that he really likes aquatic sex.
He loves boning on water.
Yeah.
It really is true.
Well, he was in the Navy, so he's probably got a thing for
It's true.
water.
In Thunderball, he must have just had a boner that whole time at the end.
The whole movie. Yeah.
All right.
no.
So there's You Only Live Twice. It's got that weird thing with Bond becoming an Asian man, and but honestly, if not for that, I might be giving this the full 5.
I went into this fully thinking I was already predisposed to give it a 5. I'm not going to give it a 5. I'm giving it a 4 because I did think, unlike you, I think, actually, this is a little bit of a reversal. I did think the movie dragged in parts, and I thought there wasn't quite enough humor compared to what we had
I was
seen
laughing
previously.
I disagree.
There's some good one-liners, but there's not quite enough humor, and I don't know. I'm attributing that, I would think, to Roald Dahl. I'm not sure.
Roald Dahl's very
But
funny.
Yeah, but I mean, in this movie, it's just, I don't know, man. I could have used a little more of a Goldfingery type thing.
Well,
It's
you'll
kind
be
of
getting
a
that in the
weird-
next one.
Well, not to my satisfaction.
Yeah.
But
Look, this movie to me was
look, it's a great
exciting.
movie. It's-
I was able to follow it. I was interested in what was happening. You say it dragged, but it's only an hour and 50 minutes. I wouldn't have cut too much. Maybe a couple. I mean, some of the aerial action sequences I could have lived without, but other than that, great movie. 4.
Yeah, I agree. Great movie. 4. I think for me, this was the one that I was looking forward to the most, and I'm a little bit saddened that I didn't feel the same way about it. So that kind of
I hear you. It's kind of how I felt last week watching Goldfinger.
Yeah, it hurt because for many years I think I even heralded this as like my favorite Bond film ever, and it's just not. I mean, I really liked it a lot. It's great, but yeah, a little disappointed. But as a recommendation, highly recommended. I mean, it's one of the. I ranked my Connery Bonds. I don't know if you did that.
I didn't, but I'll do it on the fly.
Yeah, so it's still good. But anyway, okay, that's the only choice. So MVP for both of us is DP.
Yeah, old double penetration, Donald Pleasance.
Right, the pleasure of the Pleasance.
Mhm.
And LVP, I don't know, man. I it's directed well. Lewis Gilbert does a good job. Who do we blame for anything that drags? The writer? I mean,
Henry, every
Yeah.
time we're dragging in this movie, I'm sorry to say this, but there's one common denominator.
Oh, don't tell me it's Sean Connery.
Nope.
No,
It's
I was gonna say
a
you're
fella by the name of Q.
Oh, you're nuts. That is sacrilegious. What do you mean every time? He's only in the movie for like 10
But
seconds.
we're just, anytime I'm bored with this movie, it's because we're dealing with gadgets.
Oh, okay. Well, I
No.
I cannot agree with you on that one. So Q is your LVP.
That's right.
Took too long to build that helicopter. Huh?
Interestingly, though, Q is the MVP in the movie Q about that dragon. No, yeah, it did take too long to build that helicopter. I was so bored with that shit.
Fine. If you went balls out and had the nutsack to say that, I'm gonna say that this movie dragged because of Roald Dahl.
Oh, Roald Dahl! Henry, how
He
many...
also came up with putting Connery in Japanese makeup.
Yeah, that's
so-
bad. How many Roald Dahl movie adaptations have you seen? You've never read one of his books. How many of the movies have you seen?
I saw Willy Wonka.
Original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there to have seen?
Did you see Matilda, the Danny DeVito Matilda?
No.
No, that's good, dude. Danny DeVito director. You know I love him.
Yeah, you do actually.
James and the Giant Peach by Henry Selick.
No.
All right, he's made some good. There's some good Roald Dahl adaptations out there.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not talking shit on Roald Dahl, but he's my LVP. So,
All right,
you know,
all right.
If the movie was a disappointment to me, it's because of those things, and I think it's probably him.
I want to defend him extra because I slandered him as a Nazi earlier in the podcast.
I love that you slandered him as a Nazi, and he was the exact opposite.
I know he's a war hero.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Brilliant.
move on. Let's move on a few years. So, On Her Majesty's Secret Service comes out how many years after this?
2.
2 years after this.
Your favorite year or number?
69, baby.
69.
Yeah, they make a 2 hour and 22-minute Bond movie.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
With George Lazenby, a great Bond film, which ends with Bond getting married and his lady getting murdered.
Oh, I see why you're bringing that up. I was going to say.
Well, it
Yeah.
plays into the storyline. So then that movie doesn't do as well as previous Bond movies. It has a new director. It's got Lazenby. It's got all this new shit in there. And so the Broccolis get scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they bring Connery back by any means necessary, and ultimately what it takes is a $1.25 million paycheck, astronomical for 1971.
I was going to ask you about that because you know that stuff better than I do. Is that pretty astronomical?
It's
for the
crazy.
time?
Yeah.
Wow. Who would have kind of gotten that type of money back then? Like what other star for something would Steve McQueen maybe get that kind of money?
I
or
don't think so. No.
Wow.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Woo.
Diamonds Are Forever is your new movie, and what they do is they go back to the well. They hire Guy Hamilton to be your new director, who had previously directed Goldfinger.
Right.
And they pick Diamonds Are Forever because it's a little bit of a spiritual sequel to Goldfinger, to the point where the original idea for this movie was to feature the main villain was going to be Goldfinger's identical twin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they were
Okay.
going to bring back that actor and to be like,
Wow.
yeah.
Gert Frobe.
Gert Frobe. But instead, we're just going to make a
Oh.
movie that's sort of tonally similar to Goldfinger. Or that was the
I wouldn't-
idea.
I wouldn't-
That was the idea.
Yeah.
Ri-
Well. Good amendment there.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. I did forget. I finally, for the first time in 5 movies in, have a
Superhero count? All right,
The
let's
only-
hear the You Only
just
Live
2.
Twice superhero count.
Just 2. The guy who played Mr. Osato, who was the one who blames the James Bond being alive on the redhead who gets eaten by piranhas. So the second bad guy. He was in the 1960. That's an actor named Teru Shimada. He was in the 1966 movie Batman.
Oh, okay. We'll cover that.
Yeah, and big surprise, he played a Japanese delegate.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That must be
Second
great. It's probably like a big UN scene with like a guy with
Yeah.
like a headscarf and like someone wearing a burqa and like
Oh yeah.
and someone wearing like like dressed like a Canadian Mountie, and they're all like, "What are we
Right.
gonna do about the Legion of Doom or whatever?"
Yeah, and Teru Shimada's there with a samurai sword on
Yeah.
his back, and some Maki rolls. The second one is very interesting. The second one is an actor named Shane Rimmer, and he played a NASA technician in You Only Live Twice. And I recognized him immediately because, all right, he was uncredited in Superman 2, where he also played a NASA tech, and he was uncredited in Batman Begins. And I couldn't find who he played in that, but he's like a superhero kind of go-to character actor. And this is what's interesting. This guy has appeared in more Bond films than any other actor in the series that isn't a recurring character. You know what I mean? Like M or Q or something like that.
Or
This guy,
Felix Leiter.
yeah, right. Or 10th Felix Leiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you'd know him if you saw him in a second. I think he's even in Diamonds Are Forever. He's just when they're doing that crappy moon landing in Superman 2, he's one of the guys at like NASA headquarters. You're not going to remember, but anyway, that's that guy. So we do have two finally.
Okay. Superhero
and we
count.
got some for Diamonds Are Forever as well, which we'll get to, so I don't forget.
Throw the diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe.
Yeah. Not only do we bring Guy Hamilton back and Sean Connery, who else do we bring back?
Richard Maybaum to work
Shirley
on the
Bassey.
screenplay. Oh, that's true. Shirley fucking Bassey. We're just bringing people back. Another screenwriting credit in this movie, though, is Tom Mankiewicz.
Yeah, it obviously related, right, to Herman?
I don't know. But he's a fascinating guy to me because he is the creator, Henry, of the classic Robert Wagner, Stephanie Powers series, Heart to Heart.
To Heart.
That's right.
Yeah, and he is the son of Joseph Mankiewicz and nephew of Herman, so
Okay.
well-connected gent.
Another fun credit is he wrote and directed the Tom Hanks, Dan Aykroyd Dragnet movie.
Which I haven't seen in many, many years, but on the basis of today, I would say I still love.
That's a horrible movie, and
Okay.
I only hope that Tom Mankiewicz also wrote the Tom Hanks rap at the end of that movie.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I always remember thinking Dragnet was fucking hilarious. I haven't seen it in a long, long time. So
It's super
maybe-
boring.
Is that a wrong opinion?
Yeah, it's a wrong opinion.
Well,
Diamonds Are Forever was nominated for one Oscar for Best Sound.
it was. Yeah.
It lost to Fiddler on the Roof.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. Now, I have here the top 10 highest grossing movies of 1971.
Well, what did this come in at? We did do that
Oh,
first.
this was number 3, big hit.
And a lower budget.
A
than
lower
You Only
budget,
Live
true, because the last movie hadn't done as well. $7.5 million, and you have to remember 1.25 of that went to Sean Connery. So
Wow, that is
they
something.
didn't have a lot to work with in this one. But the box office was huge, $120 million, because people were excited to have Connery back.
Yep.
So yeah, it came in at number 3 at the box office. What else is on there, Hank?
1971, Dirty Harry,
That's number 4, yeah.
French Connection.
That's number 2. You're doing well.
Ooh. All right. Nothing else on my top 10 is in any way, shape, or form.
That's
gonna be on
probably
that.
not true because it was 1971, so people were a little bit cultured.
Okay.
I'll read the list. Number
You
10.
read the list. Yeah.
Number 10, you got Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Number
Fuck is
9, that's like a Disney movie.
Okay.
Number 9 is A Clockwork Orange.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Wow.
Number 8 is Carnal Knowledge.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
Number 7 is The Last Picture Show.
Wow.
Yeah. Which we should cover someday, man. There's that Texasville movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. Yeah.
Number 6 is Summer of 42. Number 5 is Billy Jack. 4, Dirty Harry. 3, Diamonds Are Forever. 2, The French Connection. And number 1, Fiddler on the Roof.
Wow.
In many
Right.
ways, the Jewish Black Panther. A breakout hit that was very narrow in terms of who
Only
people.
Jewish people went to go see it.
Well, I'm just saying. Black Panther just yesterday, Henry,
Yeah.
became the 3rd highest grossing film of all time,
Oh, that's amazing.
passing
Really?
Titanic.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So third only to what? Avatar and what's the other one?
Force Awakens, I think.
That's number 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, Black Panther. Wow, that's incredible.
huge.
Bigger than the Avengers, bigger than its own. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
Will Infinity War make more than Black Panther? I kind of don't think so.
I don't think so. I did think so.
Yeah.
But now that you're telling me that, I just don't. I don't know, man. That'd be. Oof, if it did, that'd be a hell of an.
Black Panther is in Infinity War. They should start really advertising that in the fucking ad.
Yeah, that's a
Dude,
good
that's how
point.
they should be like Black Panther in Infinity War. Also Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible Hulk. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like our number 1 when we're going to be agreed on the same movie. You know. Yeah.
What?
Whenever we have the same number 1 movie of the year.
Oh, right.
Read
Yeah,
each other's minds, and we know what it's going to be.
that's true.
Speaking of which,
What are our top 10 movies of 1971? Now, I had a hard time with this list. There's some great movies that
Yeah.
I sadly had to leave off this list. I'm not happy about it.
I had to leave some stuff off too, and I had actually kept what I left off, but then I threw it away because I figured, for the sake of time, I won't. So now I don't know.
I
if they
kept a couple of mine. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Play Misty for me, which I fucking love. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies Clint Eastwood's
was
ever
one of my-
directed,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a bummer it's not on my list. And
No.
THX 1138.
That's fucking nuts.
I know.
Well, you'll see where it is on mine.
It's going to be
Yeah.
high, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm very happy with this list. It's what a year, 1971.
Yeah, I was happy with 67 list. I think I'm even happier with this list.
I think my top 10, they're 10 stone cold classics.
I would probably say the same about my list. Let's
All right.
see how.
What's your number 10?
Harold and Maude.
What a stone cold classic it is.
Yeah.
My number 10 is McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
Never saw it.
Hmm.
My number 9 is Bananas.
What a stone cold classic. Not on my list.
Wow.
I know. My
Wow.
number 9 is The Panic in Needle Park.
Been on my Netflix queue for a year.
Let's get a theme song for that. All right.
My number 8 movie is Dirty Harry.
Not on my list.
Wow.
And what a stone cold classic. My number 8 is, I believe, aforementioned in this episode. I could be wrong. The French Connection.
Just, I think, aforementioned 2 seconds ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My number 7 movie is Carnal Knowledge.
A great movie. Number 7, Harold and Maude.
Uh-huh. Number 6, Straw Dogs.
What a great movie. my number 6, and you could quibble with me because I think it debuted on TV, but come on, it's a movie. It's Duel.
That's my number 5.
Okay, yeah.
No quibbling here, man.
Great.
That's a fucking movie.
My number 5 is Straw Dogs.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Number 4 movie for me of 1971 is the second best adaptation of Macbeth by Roman Polanski.
A great movie. Now,
It was only bested by the more recent one of a couple of years ago with Michael Fassbender.
That's
which is
right.
better.
Now, Sean Connery wanted to make a Macbeth at this
I know.
time.
I read
And
that.
yeah, that was, but they never got it off the ground because of this Roman Polanski one. But it's great one. My number 4 is Walkabout.
Nicholas Rogue.
That's
right.
right.
I never saw that.
So great.
The number 3 movie for me is The French Connection.
My number 3 is Carnal Knowledge.
Yeah. The number 2 movie.
Did I
for
ever tell
me-
you about the time I met Jules Pfeiffer, the writer of Carnal Knowledge, in a Barnes & Noble? Not
No.
the one we worked in.
Wow, really?
Jules Pfeiffer. Now, he wrote Carnal Knowledge, but he also was a children's book illustrator.
Okay.
And he illustrated a novel called The Phantom Toll Booth, which former guest Nathaniel Saffron and I named our band, in our old band, after a thing in the Phantom Toll Booth. It was called the Doldrums.
Oh.
And so I happened, I was in a random Barnes & Noble on Long Island.
Yeah.
Jules Pfeiffer was signing for a new children's book that he wrote and did the drawings for.
Yeah.
And there were 20 people in the audience. And I was in this bookstore, and weirdly, I happened to have my copy of The Phantom Toll Booth on me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Fate.
And
Cool.
I went up to Jules Pfeiffer and got my copy of the Phantom Toll Booth signed, told him that I'd named my band after the Doldrums. He thought it was cool, and told him that I loved Carnal Knowledge.
Was he a cool guy?
Great, awesome guy. Seemed like the fucking coolest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool story. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
What's your number
Uh,
2?
My number 2 movie of 1971 is THX 1138.
Number 2. Yeah, that I can see why you're so upset with it.
Yeah. I love that movie.
It's an incredible movie. Listen. Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, sir. That's right.
Why
No, I
didn't you
really
include it on your list?
Yes.
You didn't think it was as good as McCabe and Mrs. Miller?
You're going to have to talk to yourself, I guess.
Will you have American Graffiti on your list?
No, I will not.
Uh,
I'll tell you that.
Hey, my number 2 is A Clockwork Orange.
Okay. Which brings me to my number 1 movie, which is A Clockwork Orange, which is also one of my favorite movies ever made.
Great movie. And my number 1, one of my favorite movies ever made, The Last Picture Show.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what was going to possibly beat A Clockwork Orange. Okay. Last Picture Show, huh?
Have you seen it?
No. If I did, it was a really long time ago. So yeah, I couldn't comment to it.
We'll watch it for the podcast soon.
Right.
If we have a one-off, we can do. Now, it's a great movie. Jables, Sybil Sheps. And I saw it for the first time, Henry, because in the first season of Dawson's Creek,
Here we go.
the local Cape Side multiplex is closing, and Dawson, Joey, Pacey, and Jen go on a sweet double date to the last night of the multiplex, and they're showing The Last Picture Show. So, 10-year-old Dan,
Yeah.
worshiping
Wow.
the ground of Dawson's Creek, was like, well, they're referencing this movie. I guess I gotta see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say a character in that show's name was Pacey?
Yeah, that's Joshua Jackson's character, Pacey Witter.
That's a man?
Yeah, Pacey.
Pacey.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured there was another reason I didn't ever watch that show. All right, okay.
Pacey, a great character, possibly the best character in the history of Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, he was going through some drama in that episode because he'd recently lost his virginity to their English teacher, or was about to, something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Miss Jacobs.
Oh, all right.
Miss Jacobs, she was run out of Cape Side because she boned a 15-year-old.
Naturally.
Yeah. And they got it on tape.
No, keep going, please. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
they were making a monster movie because Dawson was a
I'm
budding
kidding.
filmmaker. Okay. But anyway, Last Picture Show. It's a Stone Cold classic.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. Diamonds are forever.
Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe.
Oh man.
Do you
All
even
right.
get what I'm referencing?
I felt like I did the first time, and now it's becoming less familiar the more you do it. I don't know how that works.
It's a Kanye West sampled Diamonds
Right.
Are Forever for a song called Diamonds of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And
I thought I was going to say Kanye, but I didn't want to sound, unhip.
sure. Well, Kanye, my favorite musician. And
Really?
he's up there.
Wow.
And I think so I'm incapable of not hearing that now because I've listened to that Kanye song so many times.
Yeah, right.
That watching Diamonds Are Forever, like all I'm hearing is Kanye.
I would have rather listened to Kanye West than watch Diamonds Are Forever.
You're not a fan, but I echo the sentiment.
I thought I was sort of. It's another one, but not anywhere. Yeah, no, this. Oof. Yeah. This is a
Listen,
movie I realized how kind I was being over the years.
it's not terrible. It's not the worst Connery Bond movie.
Wait, what? It's not the worst Connery Bond movie?
Oh, this is better than Thunderball.
You're fucking nuts.
No.
Oh, we are not on the same page on this one, my friend. Okay.
I had a fun time watching it, even though it's kind of a mess. Listen, I hate the pre-credit sequence because the Bond wedding is done so beautifully on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and as far as I remember,
I don't remember.
and we'll talk about that later this week, that I really do think either in the next Bond movie you have to ignore it happened entirely,
yeah.
or have that be the entire thrust of the narrative.
Right.
So we're dealing with Bond like getting revenge for that in the first like 3 minutes of the movie,
Right.
and it kind of doesn't work, and he's boning ladies like by like the 10-minute mark of this movie, which doesn't work at all.
Again, he doesn't bone anyone in the whole movie except for Tiffany Case.
But he's like, okay, fine, but like he's already being silly. Like 2 seconds into this movie, he's strangling a woman with her own bikini top.
Yes. 1953's Miss World.
Yeah, he takes her top off, strangles her with the top, says, "There's something I'd like you to get off your chest." Come on.
It's great to see Connery though, a little bit 4 years older. He's like 40 now. I think he looks good. He's looking cool, man.
Connery looks great.
Yeah, all right. I'm glad you agree with that. I
no.
mean, I think he still owns this.
Absolutely. No, he doesn't look out of his fucking element until we get to Never Say Never Again, where he's an old man.
But, it's funny because I was thinking, like, of the age, and I could be wrong about this. I meant to double check. But I think when Daniel Craig took on Casino Royale, he was, like, 38. And so Connery in this is, like, 40.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, though. But, like, no one – I think there was, like – we look back at these older stars and we're like, oh, he's too fucking old. But, these days it's great. You see these guys doing this stuff when they're well into old age, like myself, early 50s, late 50s. And Connery, at 40 years old, he looks great.
I like an old man action movie, Henry. I can get down with a Liam Neeson in these movies today or whatever. Like,
I mean, there's a limit. I mean, when Bronson was, pushing 80 and he was still doing, I mean, that's a little bit much. But
what? Oh, Bronson. I thought you said Brosnan. I was getting confused.
Yeah, I mean, and even Roger Moore in A View to a Kill.
And Henry, we will talk about Pierce Brosnan on the podcast this year. I can promise you that.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's is something happening I'm unaware of?
Yeah, not in terms of James Bond. We will be covering Mamma Mia.
I have the list of what we were wrote down. I didn't think you'd remember certain things.
I remembered Mamma Mia for sure. Mamma Mia, here we go again.
Great trailer. Haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
great. I've seen it so many times. It's
Oh.
becoming the trailers I've seen the most this year are Deadpool 2,
Yep.
Mamma Mia 2, and A Quiet Place.
I'm thinking of seeing A Quiet Place. this
Henry,
evening.
it's getting great reviews, and it's
know.
on track for an opening weekend of $43 million.
Is it really?
Yes.
Well, look, man, I love John Krasinski. I'll support. See what happens. I wasn't into it when I saw the first time on the preview. I think you and me even made fun of it on this show.
Sometimes movies are better than their trailers. I'm seeing
lot
good.
of times.
I'm seeing good reviews for that fucking Cockblockers movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had
Yeah.
no interest.
Yeah.
So A Quiet Place, I'll check it out, man. You know,
Yeah.
good cast. I like a horror movie, and that's like doing something new.
Me too, man. Yeah.
Sure. You're gonna see the other horror movie coming out this weekend,
What's that?
Chappaquiddick.
I knew you were going to say. I haven't decided what to do about that. That's also getting really good reviews.
And conservatives are so pumped.
Oh, of course. I know. That's why I
Our
started
old
to-
friend Christian Toto is so fucking excited about Chappaquiddick.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Ah.
Oh, Lord.
But I
Yeah,
am too.
quit
It should be good. Now
Don't get-
it's
don't get me
directed
started.
by Nick Curran.
Yeah, well, that was one of the only reasons I was interested, to be honest.
The director, because he did The
John
Painted
Kern.
Veil. You love him.
And
Stone.
Stone.
Stone's great.
Right. So
Um,
I kind of like that director a lot.
You know,
So
I didn't know who was directing Chappaquiddick, and I Googled it yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I knew. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it has an upcoming project on IMDb by this guy that I'm so much more excited about than
Well,
Chappaquiddick. Listen
Yeah.
to this, Henry. He's working on the Lou Pearlman biopic.
I don't even know who that is.
Lou Pearlman is the Ponzi scheme millionaire who became popular for being the producer and founder of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, okay.
I can't fucking wait for that movie.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. Chappaquiddick,
Check it out. Come on, it's a topic you're
Yeah.
interested in.
No, yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just seems so exploitative and trashy, and I don't know.
No, I mean it's a major thing in American history. We're gonna do a movie on it. I think it's
Yeah.
good. I don't find that trashy.
Yeah, I guess I've just sort of been. I feel like I've been inundated with it as somebody who, has read a lot about the Kennedys.
Well, I have not. I don't know much about it, and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
see,
crazy
it's-
thing that happened. So I'm excited to learn more about it, and it's got a still alive Bruce Dern in it.
Yeah, still alive. The cast is excellent. Yeah.
It's pretty
No,
stacked.
I'll probably check it out. I probably will, but I'm opting for A Quiet Place ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see both of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Henry, so Bond kills Blofeld in this movie early on.
Right.
This is our third Blofeld because there's a different one in On Her Majesty's, and this one is played by the guy from who got stabbed in the back in You Only Live Twice.
Yeah. Charles Gray, the actor Charles Gray.
When Blofeld is killed, of course, we get a close-up of Blofeld's cat looking anguished.
Very.
I don't know how they got this shot of the cat looking so bummed out.
Well, it's a good cat actor. I mean, you think
It's
about
a great
this-
cat actor, and
this
it
this-
lends more credence to the fact that Blofeld is the cat, honestly.
Look, man, this cat has just lost his host. Okay.
Yeah.
The cat has been with Blofeld for at least at this point 9 years. It's the same cat actor from Dr. No.
Gotta be.
And, I mean, I understand it. It's a good, whatever this cat, I don't know if he or she starred in anything else, but.
Well, the cat has to get another human
job.
host now, a fourth human host for the next one, and so he's left quite frustrated, frankly.
He had a host in Majesty's Secret Service, in Kojak.
Telly Savalas, yeah. I mean, he had to repair his host. He's bald and no scar in that movie.
Right.
So in this movie, he has hair and no scar. He keeps improving the human host. Now he's got to get another one. Yeah.
Everything's You're right.
It's like in these 3 movies, Blofeld is Benjamin Buttoning.
Right.
He's getting younger and handsomer with each film.
How much money do you think that cat actor made out of the budget of Diamonds Are Forever?
Well, they had to give him a lot for this one. He had done That Darn Cat in the intervening years, so
That's
he's
true.
a hot commodity.
Right.
A hot cat commodity.
And they had to supply him with diamonds. So
Yeah.
it's probably not a cheap. He had a really big trailer, I heard, too.
Here, I have a recording of the negotiation between MGM and the cat. You be the head of MGM, Henry.
I be the okay. So it's not a record. Sure. Hey, listen. We need you back. We want to bring you back after you were with Kojak. Are you interested there, Lionel?
That's it. Great recording.
I'm glad because I couldn't do any more than interview. I thought it was going to be more in depth.
No, that's all we have.
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
After that, the head of MGM just goes for all of his demands.
Because the cat does not tolerate failure.
Right.
So the MGM guy didn't want to be dropped into a vat of piranhas.
Yeah. So, I mean, he kills Blofeld earlier in the movie, but we find out he's not dead. But most of the movie, we're dealing with these 2 henchmen character who are gay, I guess.
You guess?
Well, it's like we're doing the thing where, like, gay is weird.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like a predatory gayness.
Mhm.
And it's like there's 2 of them. One of them is like a real, like, backwoods kind of gay guy. And the other one is Crispin Glover's dad.
That's right. Yeah, the backwoodsy guy was actually a famous jazz bassist. Did you read that?
I did read that.
Pretty funny.
Sure.
Gunnar Smith, I think, played with Thelonious Monk and all kinds of people.
Here, I have a recording of his negotiation.
Oh shit!
So
His negotiation with who?
the MGM guy. Let's hear the MGM guy.
Hey, Putter, I saw you on stage the other night at the Marquee. I think would you be interested in being in a James Bond movie as like a villain?
Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum.
You're sold.
There you go.
Wow, I like that blues riff for that jazz.
It's true. I was doing 12/4 blues.
You completely did a 12-bar
I
blues.
fucked that up. You're right.
All the way 1-4-5 chords. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. I could have sung along with it. A little Elvis ditty or some Muddy
Sure.
Waters.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Elvis, what a great actor he was.
He was-
Now, so we meet those guys. Bond fakes his own death again.
By the way, I am absolutely ashamed of myself that I said Elvis and after you did a blues riff. Why would I do that?
I don't know. Who are you
terrible.
thinking of?
I don't know. The way you were doing it, I guess my head was in the movies, and I did think
Yeah,
of Elvis
yeah.
first. The first name out of my mouth should not have been that.
No, it should be like Robert Johnson or
Right,
Son
yeah.
House or Blind
Crazy.
Willie McTell or some shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
So Bond has to go to America in this movie. Honor Majesty's Secret Service did not do well in America. So we're pandering to the American audience by having almost the entire movie take place in Las Vegas.
Yeah, which, we've been to America before when we were in. I think Doctor No stopped over there a little bit. Goldfinger spent a hell of a lot of
Yeah,
time,
in Baltimore.
and and then Kentucky, and I didn't think that was too exciting. Vegas, you'd think would be exciting, but we're really kind of going and playing shoot the balloon and watching the
There's a full-on sequence of fucking shoot the balloon.
It's almost 5 minutes, and then the circus, and then this
Bond
gorilla
plays
sequence.
craps
He plays craps
with a lady named Plenty O'Toole.
One of my favorite Bond girls. It did have two of my favorite Bond
She's
girls.
one of your favorite Bond girls?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is Natalie Wood's sister,
That's right. Lana
right?
Wood.
Lana Wood, which could be a Bond name as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Lot of Wood.
yeah, Lana Wood. So she is one of the worst actors we've come across on this podcast.
I'm not gonna dispute that.
Yeah, but you just think she's hot, huh?
She's great for the role.
She shows that ass. It's the closest
Great.
we've come to nudity in these movies.
Well, besides that, accidental 2-second shot of Daniela Bianchi in From Russia with Love.
right.
You're
Yeah.
right, though. That is true. Yeah. Although Jill St. John is pushing it, right? I mean, her ass crack is like all over this film.
I guess. I don't know. She's a terrible actor, too.
I thought she was fun.
Listen, you're saying we're getting some of the best Bond girls in this movie? These are some of the worst Bond girls.
They're very bubbly.
Jesus.
They're very.
They're well equipped.
That's not. They got a lot of spunk, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Jill St. John famous for? Because she's like an actress that's been in stuff. Peyton Place? She's like a soap actor or something.
Yeah, she was married to Robert Wagner. That's why she's one of the. Well, no, she was in.
Oh,
right,
she's lucky she got out of that alive. Lana Wood's sister sure didn't.
No one gets out. No one here gets out alive.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, nice. I figured there'd be a Natalie Wood joke at some point.
Sure. Well, Lana Wood was on Peyton Place. That's what I was thinking of. I feel like Jill St. John's the type that was on like a bunch of episodes of like The Love Boat.
Oh,
She's
good
like
call.
more famous for being famous than she is for being an actress.
Yeah, and she was the stepmother to Natasha Gregson Wagner of Two Girls and a Guy. An actress
Sure.
I always wanted to see her again, and I never.
Yeah,
what happened to her.
from the last 10 minutes of High Fidelity.
Oh right,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I think we're doing a gender swapped High Fidelity now.
What? What do you mean?
No, I mean, that's what I mean. I think we're doing like a TV version of High Fidelity with a woman in the lead role. I read something about that.
I had no idea what the fuck. You're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Jill St.
Oh.
John, also a famous Republican.
Is she really?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah.
She's not. I never really cared for her in this movie.
Oh, you're turning on her.
My favorite Bond.
Come
girl.
on.
I think she just lacks charisma.
Get out of here.
Line reading is stale.
Shut up. We're not
She
doing
was also
that.
she was also in Heart to Heart in the pilot.
Oh, Mankiewicz brought her over.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, listen.
No, they're fun. They're fun girls.
Shut up.
You got Bambi and Thumper.
Bambi and Thumper are the best Bond girls in this movie.
They were voted like two of the worst Bond villains.
That's crazy.
ever. Yeah, I read that.
That's a fun fight scene.
I thought it was awful but fun. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot that's awful but fun in this movie. That being said, I'll tell you what's just awful. Another Bond girl in this movie.
Another Bond girl in the movie?
Yeah.
All right, wait. All right, we got Plenty O'Toole. We got Tiffany Case. We got Bambi and Thumper. Who am I missing?
At one point in this movie, Jill St. John in Las Vegas goes to attend a freak show.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned the gorilla, but I didn't elaborate. Go ahead. Yeah.
And it's a black woman that apparently they found in Africa or some shit.
Right.
And the lighting changes, and the black woman transforms into a gorilla.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's real great.
Real good stuff. For more stereotypical blackness,
It's not even stereotypical. Let's just call it what it is. Horribly racist.
Right. Yeah. Better. Well, way better put. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when we cover Roger Moore, his first outing in Live and Let Die, we're gonna see some of that stuff. Too.
Oh, great! Can't wait.
No.
Yeah. So that was fucking gross. And I say this as someone who's a fan of freak shows. I go to them all the time.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. The Coney Island Freak Show I've been to like every year at least once since I'm like 15.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
I don't think I've ever been to a freak show. Though I did work at the Union Square Barnes & Noble for a long time.
Zing! Okay, no, the Coney Island Freak Show is fucking great. They lost their master of ceremonies a few years ago, and it hasn't quite been the same. But I'm a big fan of that freak show. It's non-exploitative. The freaks seem to be having a great time,
Okay.
and I fucking love it. And Matt Wasserman made friends with the Sword Swallower one year. Our old friend Matt Wasserman.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. I won't get more into that story, but
I think I've heard that story.
there's some great shit at that freak show, though. I recommend it. There are no black women turning into gorillas.
Oh, that's probably good. Yeah. So essentially, plot-wise, this is another a lot of bullshit going on here with satellites. And,
It's
lasers
total
and
bullshit.
diamonds
It's lasers and diamonds. That's what we're doing, and
Right,
ultimately it leads to a lot of fruitless action sequences. Bond at one point escapes a movie set in a moon buggy, which seems to imply that the Bond franchise thinks the moon landing was faked.
right, because they're on that sound stage or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a note there. I wrote moon buggy. What is this, sleeper?
I did
Right.
I did love Bond pretending to be that like inspector in the lab earlier in that sequence.
That was funny. That was Connery, totally.
That
Yeah.
was Connery having fun. And there's a car chase after that
It's
that
all
I thought was pretty great with him turning the car on two wheels.
I couldn't do it, man.
I know, it's silly.
I was foreseeing the future in Diamonds Are Forever because this is where it begins. This is where
You're totally
This is
right.
where-
There's a lot of Brosnan in this one.
it's just gonna say, yeah,
Mhm.
this is where that starts and continues with a great deal of the Roger Moores and just goes a lot. So yeah, but I didn't really think that, I guess, all these years that this was where it started. I always kind of attributed that to Roger Moore era, but it really it's now.
But it's at least fun. There's some Roger
It is
Moore like silly Bond movies that are fucking boring.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this one I had a good time with, and Connery's still engaged in the material, and
Which is a miracle.
I
guess
know.
he's just probably very happy that he got paid a lot. I read he had a good time in Vegas.
Connery kind of always tries. You have to give him that.
That's an
He's
interesting
not
thing to bring up.
he's not one of these guys like Bruce Willis that like as they got older just like kept being in movies but like refused to actually act. Sean Connery, you can tell he's bored in a couple of movies, like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but he retired right after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so maybe he felt it too. But like, there's some like not good Sean Connery movies from the '90s where like he's still working. Like
You're right.
Sean
You're right.
Connery is actively good in like Rising
Jones?
Sun, like I was gonna say Rising Sun and First
Yeah,
Night.
Yep.
And like
even fucking
Entrapment, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right about that. It's a good point.
Dragonheart.
I feel like he would be one of the actors that people would. I mean, I could be wrong. I've always sort of thought that people viewed him as someone who just was sleepwalking for a long time, and maybe he was not. Maybe he was always one of the ones given.
I think
his-
Connery gives you the goods. He's fucking great in Highlander.
He's fucking great in The Untouchables.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
No, I know you don't like the movie, but there's nothing wrong with him in that.
No.
He's fucking great.
Okay. There's a long drawn out sequence on an oil rig at the end, which I could just leave, and
Yeah, I agree.
and then Blofeld turns out to be alive. He has another fight with Blofeld. I am not very happy with the part where he kicks the cat.
No, not fun.
No,
No,
don't.
but the cat got a lot of money. Remember,
No, that wasn't. This was a duplicate cat. Remember,
it's stunt double.
right, because Blofeld is doing that thing in this movie where like other people are like being him, like
Right,
he's swapping his
Lionel
face.
Wasn't on set. So Lionel wasn't on set. It was Lionel's stunt double.
It was you see Lionel later in that scene.
Right.
It's a
right.
fake cat.
So Lionel's fine, everybody. If you watch Diamonds Are Forever, which you shouldn't, but
You
Lionel is-
should. Listen.
No, you have to. It's a Connery Bond. You have to watch it if you.
No, that's not true. You don't have to watch Thunderball. All of Thunderball's mistakes, they fix in You Only Live Twice. I say after Goldfinger, fucking skip it. Watch You Only Live Twice.
I mean, we'll get with the rankings, but
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm ready to do it. I don't have much more to say about this movie.
Well, Jimmy Dean shows up
What?
as a Howard Hughes figure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, Cubby Broccoli, I guess, was good friends with Howard Hughes.
Right.
So
right.
we're
He let him shoot a lot in Vegas. That's how they got all this permission and shit, which makes sense because Vegas is right. From what I've read about movies, not the easiest town to shoot in. Right.
yeah. There's a joke about that in Swingers.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
They do make a joke about that.
Never shoot in a casino.
Yeah, Scorsese. And then Mike Figgis had to shoot in Leaving Las Vegas, like secretively, so he could get shots he couldn't get.
Sure, Figgis loves to do that shit. Remember Time Code? That whole movie was done that way.
Oh yeah, I had to watch 4 different screens at once. I remember Time Code.
Sure. Mike Figgis.
Figgis.
He's got some good movies in him.
He does. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's underrated? I'll throw it out there right now.
What?
One Night Stand.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's Natasha Kinski.
Yep, and Snipes.
Right. Natasha Kinski of Cat People.
Another
wonder if,
a great movie.
I wonder if they offered that to Lionel.
Oh, I think he was probably dead by that point.
He choked on his own diamonds.
Hank, what do you give Diamonds Are Forever?
Diamonds Are Forever is getting 2 stars.
2! I'm going 3. I can't believe it.
You gave Thunderball 2, man.
Yeah, I did.
This is a 2 fucking star movie, man.
Two
I mean, I
fucking star movie.
I wanted to give it 3. I did. But look, my MVP is Sean Connery by a fucking mile. I did like the Bond girls, even though they are bad actresses, and for being serious. They're bad actresses. But
Yeah.
I did like them. My LVP are these, just the campiness was just embodied more just.
So what,
I
you
guess-
going to give it to Guy Hamilton?
No, I'm going to give it to those assassins.
Really, I gotta tell you, I didn't mind the assassins. It was
Yeah.
weird, and I kind of didn't like them in a few scenes. I didn't like the whole predatory gay thing, but they were kind of fun henchmen, and I really liked the kicker at the end of the movie with them on the cruise ship.
It's got its moments. Connery's got the good lines in that scene.
Yeah,
He's got great lines.
they
Full-
put a fucking bomb in a cake, and then like
Yeah.
push them up the side of the boat. It's good.
It's true. I mean, you could give it. It's true. I mean, you could give it to Guy Hamilton, but they were just so ridiculous. They sort of embodied like everything that was ridiculous. I mean, there's so much about this movie that was just not good.
I'm gonna. I have a controversial LVP. My
Okay.
MVP is Connery for carrying me through this movie.
Right.
It wouldn't be a 3 without him. My LVP is Felix Leiter as a character.
Oh.
Get rid of this guy.
Reached his apex of your disdain in this movie.
Yeah, because it's like our 9th Felix Leiter in like 6 movies. I feel like we're recasting this character halfway through movies sometimes.
It does feel that way.
He leaves as little an impression as ever. It's no wonder I never noticed Felix Leiter before this rewatch. I mean, if you're going to give Bond like a best friend or something, he's got to be a better character than this, because this guy sucks.
Yeah, because in this movie, he's actually got more dialogue than he's. Maybe I'm wrong, but in some of the other ones,
more dialogue certainly than he's had since like probably Goldfinger.
And the guy, I could have used. I didn't think I'd say it. I could have used Jack Lord back. I mean, something.
No, I'm here to say that he's never been a good character.
All right. Well, I disagree with that, but I can't really blame your LVP. But of all the things in the movie, it is interesting that was what I thought. Maybe you'd give it to Jill St. John.
Yeah, the ladies are terrible, but I want to get on a soapbox about him.
Okay.
This was my opportunity.
Right. I understand.
All right.
You only have 30 more. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your I don't know. Ranking? Yeah, let's rank the Connery Bonds.
Before the ranking, I got a superhero count. Hold on.
Okay.
Plenty O'Toole. Lana Wood.
Yeah. Oh,
the great.
I know where is she not in the pilot episode of the Adam West Batman?
I didn't see that.
Wait, I might be thinking of Jill St. John. I'm getting them confused.
Well, I didn't catch her either as anything.
Go ahead.
Sure you're not just thinking of like Julie Newmar?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. Go ahead. What was Plenty O'Toole in?
Well, all she showed up on my radar was the TV 1979 Captain America 1 and 2.
Sure. Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
I really want to see it. I had wanted to see it before because it's come up a couple of times. Now I really want to see it.
This pushed you over the edge?
Yeah, Lana Wood.
By the way, Jill St. John is in the pilot episode of the Adam West Batman.
Oh, missed it. I got to say, you got to give me some credit, dude. It's been a while since I've actually missed one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gotten that except I got that TV series on Christmas on DVD like 2 years ago, and so I've watched that episode kind of recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it though. I missed it. Okay. So Lana Wood, Captain America 1 and 2, Winter Soldier, and I guess we all know this guy Sid Haig. He's like a rock.
God, yeah.
Right? Yeah. He was in this movie as one of the slumber employees. He looks very different now, so it was. I was actually forgot to look for him because when I did this,
I had the same thing.
Yeah, he was in an uncredited role in the Batman TV series, of 1966 TV series. He's in that too.
Oh, and of course went on to be a Rob Zombie regular.
That's where I know him from, I think. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know him from Jackie Brown.
Right.
One of the guys in here who plays a character, a doctor. I think it's the doctor who Connery is impersonating or whatever. An actor named David DeKaiser. He was the warden in the Superman movie, Superman the movie. I think he, like when Superman drops off Gene Hackman and your boy Otis to prison, I think he is the warden in that.
Interesting. Or he could be the warden on Krypton for the Phantom Zone.
That would be even better. So there is your superhero count.
Krypton.
Krypton. Marlon Brando and Lionel. I would like to see. I wish they had an interview.
Okay, I have that.
You do?
Yeah.
Lionel, I got offered this movie where they want me to play the father of Superman on planet Krypton. I want him to have a cat. If you're available, I would love to have you.
Meow.
I could get you $2 to $5 million of friskies.
All right.
Oh.
Oh,
Almost becoming anthropomorphized there.
almost.
In that last meow. All right. All right. Rankings of the cons. And of course, this doesn't include Never Say Never Again.
You want to go 6-1?
Sure.
Okay.
You go first this time.
Number 6 is Thunderball.
Number 6 is Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, okay. 5 is Diamonds Are Forever.
Number 5 is Thunderball.
4, I have to think of the movies.
Goldfinger, Dr. No.
4 is From Russia with Love.
Ooh, I knew it'd get interesting here. 4 for me, this was the big switch. 4 for me is You Only Live Twice.
Okay. 3 is Goldfinger.
Ooh, 3 for me is From Russia with Love.
2 is You Only Live Twice.
I like it. Bold. I like it.
Mhm.
2 is Goldfinger. And the number 1 Bond movie of all time, Connery.
Is Dr. No.
Me too.
That's crazy. I'm very surprised at both of us.
I am too. I'm surprised at your choices, those top 4, and yeah, I almost put From Russia with Love above Goldfinger, but Dr. No was a shoo-in, and I never would have thought that.
Well, I'm going to say I think the Bond franchise Connery edition, we've discovered there are 4 Stone Cold classics, 1 pretty watchable movie, and a shit. That's my opinion.
I agree, except we agree on we disagree on the
You
piece of
think
shit.
Thunderball's the watchable one? And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely by a mile.
Okay.
All right.